16 years. 16 years I've lived in this body, trapped in the pages of a novel as the villainous side character, the one destined for a miserable end. And now, despite everything, despite knowing better, I think I've gone and done something incredibly stupid. I think I'm falling for the male lead, Lu Yan. Common sense dictates that infatuation doesn't put food on the table, or more aptly in this cultivation world, pills in your pouch. More importantly, getting tangled with the protagonist, especially when you're the designated antagonist, is practically begging for heavenly lightning to strike you down. Survival should be my only goal. As a villain, my first thought must always be, how do I stay alive in this narrative that's already written my demise? And yet, the unthinkable happened. He sought me out. Lu Yan and Gu Xiao. Their story was one of shared tragedy and inseparable bonds, childhood companions bound by fate. When Lu Yan was 10, his prestigious cultivator family, the Lu clan, was annihilated overnight. He survived, clutching the hand of Gu Xiao, his wet nurse's equally devastated young daughter. Together they climbed the grueling 10,000 steps to the gates of Zhongling Mountain sect, seeking refuge and a future. The reason for the Lu clan's destruction? An egg. Not just any egg, but the rumored last egg of the phoenix, a divine beast of a long-lost celestial race. Having devoured the original novel in my past life before my untimely demise via falling construction equipment, I knew the truth Lu Yan didn't. He wasn't a Lu by blood. He was the phoenix hatched in secret. Gu Xiao was the true Lu heiress. The swap was a long con orchestrated by the Lu elders, planning for Lu Yan, the divine beast, to one day lead the clan to unprecedented heights, conveniently married to the real heir Gu Xiao. A brilliant plan, except the Lu clan was now extinct. Lu Yan, the last phoenix, desperately needed a powerful backer. Without one, the vultures circling those coveting the power contained within the legendary egg, or rather within him, would capture him. Torture, dissection. A gruesome end awaited him if his secret was discovered too soon. I licked my lips, a dangerous spark igniting within me. Phoenix blood. A legendary tonic. Even a single drop before the golden core stage could boost one's cultivation by nearly half a realm. Far more useful than wasting it on the female lead, Gu Xiao, who, frankly, was rather mediocre in her cultivation progress in the original story. In that original narrative, I was Luo Luo, the spoiled, willful junior sister consumed by an unrequited love for Lu Yan. Rejection twisted me, sending me down the demonic path. I tormented Gu Xiao relentlessly, even crippling her meridians at one point. It was Lu Yan, disregarding his own safety, who desperately fed her his blood to save her life. Such precious, powerful blood. Utterly wasted. I smoothed my expression, forcing an air of wide-eyed innocence. Senior brother Lu, junior sister Gu, greetings. From today, I'll be your senior sister. My name is Luo Luo. Lu Yan didn't even spare me a glance. His lips were pressed into a thin line, his hand gripping Gu Xiao's as if afraid she'd evaporate. Understandable. Really. This was, at its heart, a doting love story. In Lu Yan's world, there were only two categories of beings: Gu Xiao and everyone else. I wasn't a good person, not truly. This Luo Luo had far more cunning than the love-blind original. My previous life as an orphan, surviving by wit and scams from the age of 8, had taught me harsh lessons about the world. Though my luck had been abysmal, crushed by a steel plate on a construction site, fate, or whatever cosmic force, had granted me this second chance. I wouldn't squander this advantageous hand. I leaned in conspiratorially, lowering my voice. Junior brother Lu, why so aloof? Still thinking you're the young master of the Lu clan? His gaze snapped towards me, cold and sharp. Undeterred, I moved closer, invading his personal space. Do you have any idea how many eyes are watching, coveting your Lu family treasure? If you've come seeking sanctuary, you need to adopt the posture of a supplicant. Why else would Zhongling Mountain take on such a dangerous burden? Even climbing those 10,000 steps doesn't guarantee acceptance if the elders deem you too much trouble. So, his voice was ice. I puffed my chest slightly. Am Taoist Yuzhen's beloved disciple. Put in a good word. Perhaps we could even become fellow disciples under the same master. But understand this, as long as the location of the treasure remains unknown, you'll never be truly safe. Forget outsiders. Even within these gates, there are likely many who watch you with greedy eyes. I saw a flicker of consideration in his young, guarded eyes. Children are so easy to manipulate, I thought with dark satisfaction. Lu Yan's innate talent was extraordinary. Dual thunder and ice spirit roots, a combination that made the sect master see him as a priceless gem. His cultivation speed was terrifyingly fast, quickly surpassing disciples who had started years before him. He was hailed as the most promising cultivator in millennia, the one with a real chance at ascension. The sect master would never let such a prodigy fall into the wrong hands. My interception at the gate, arriving bright and early before the sect master could meet them, was calculated. My plan: max out his affection points, stick close, and reap the benefits of proximity to the protagonist. Experience points, opportunities, and maybe, just maybe, some of that precious blood. Then what should we do? Lu Yan finally asked, his voice, despite its coldness, holding a melodic quality that tugged at something within me. He truly was beautiful, sculpted perfection even as a child. No wonder the original Luo Luo had thrown her life away for him. Simple, I smiled brightly. Give them a false location. Let them chase shadows. Such as the Nine Netherfrost Realm. Silence. Lu Yan processed this. The Nine Netherfrost Realm was a high-level map location from late in the novel, infamous as an ancient demonic forbidden ground. Few dared to tread there. Finally, Lu Yan gave me a brief, stiff bow. Then, taking Gu Xiao's hand again, he walked past me towards the inner sect. Soon, the rumor spread like wildfire. The phoenix egg had been cast into the inescapable Nine Netherfrost Realm by the Zhongling sect master himself, a warning for others to cease their deadly pursuit. Lu Yan and Gu Xiao were formally accepted, becoming the sect master's direct disciples. And just like that, poof, my seniority vanished. I was now their junior sister. Bloody typical. Lu Yan remained distant, his natural coldness thawing only for Gu Xiao. Towards me, he was perpetually tight-lipped and dismissive. This was problematic. If I couldn't build rapport, how would I ever get my hands on that phoenix blood? My solution? Become Gu Xiao's inseparable best friend. Today was Lu Yan's 18th birthday. According to the plot, this was the night his phoenix powers would awaken. He would undergo a fiery nirvana, his spirit energy overloading his body before rebirth. In the process, he'd accidentally injure Gu Xiao, who would be nearby. But now I would be nearby too. When he inevitably healed Gu Xiao with his blood, he'd have to spare a drop or two for me, right? Gu Xiao, her eyes like a startled fawn's, wide and luminous, was already chiding Lu Yan. Luo Luo went to all this trouble to celebrate your birthday. Can't you at least pretend to be happy? Lu Yan said nothing, merely placing a piece of fish onto Gu Xiao's plate with his chopsticks. I fought the urge to roll my eyes. So, I cook an entire feast, and my reward is being force-fed their saccharine interactions? Gu Xiao ducked her head shyly. Don't mind him, Luo Luo, she murmured. Lu Yan's just like that. I chewed thoughtfully on a piece of vegetable, my gaze fixed on Lu Yan's flawless profile. 16 years in this world. And damn it all, I think I really was falling for him. Maybe it was the inescapable pull of the original plot, or perhaps just his overwhelming perfection. Whatever the reason, my heart hammered an irregular rhythm against my ribs. But no. Getting close to the male lead was asking for trouble, real lightning strike level trouble. I just wanted to live, cultivate, and maybe, just maybe, ascend beyond this predetermined fate. Sticking to the sidelines, improving my strength. That was the path to survival. Oh, I know him. I forced a light laugh. Cold and hard as a rock. Only you seem capable of handling him, Xiao. Gu Xiao blushed again, two sweet dimples appearing at the corners of her smile. The meal continued with me and Gu Xiao carrying the conversation, punctuated only by Lu Yan occasionally adding food to his childhood sweetheart's bowl. Gave me indigestion. Checking the time, I noted it was nearing midnight. Lu Yan was growing restless, shifting uncomfortably. He must be feeling the heat building within him. Phoenixes were creatures of fire. Yet his spirit roots were thunder and ice. Three conflicting elements warring inside him. A recipe for agony. Seeing sweat bead on his brow, I offered helpfully. Senior brother, you look overheated. Perhaps a soak in the spirit pool behind the mountain would help. He practically stumbled to his feet, grabbing a change of clothes and bolting towards the back mountain path. Gu Xiao hesitated, worried but embarrassed at the thought of watching him bathe. After a moment's internal debate, she followed. With a sigh, I rubbed my nose and trailed after them. The spirit pool was known for its chillingly cold water. Yet tonight, it bubbled like a boiling cauldron. Birds in the surrounding forest screeched in alarm, flapping frantically as if sensing impending doom. The spiritual energy in the air was unnaturally thick, visible as swirling white mist even to the naked eye. Lu Yan was submerged, letting out low guttural moans that seemed to harmonize eerily with the birds' cries, forming some unknown intense melody. By the time Gu Xiao and I reached the pool's edge, Lu Yan was glowing crimson, his body taut, moments away from exploding with power. Just before losing control, his eyes met mine, conveying a silent, urgent message. I understood instantly. Grabbing Gu Xiao, I flung her back out of the immediate blast radius. Before I could retreat myself, a searing wave of heat slammed into me, sending me tumbling away. I rolled through fire, flames licking at my clothes and skin, the smell of burning fabric and flesh filling my nostrils. I felt like I was being roasted alive. When the inferno finally subsided, Lu Yan climbed out of the now calm pool. His skin glowed like polished jade, his musculature perfect beneath the moonlight. Only the dazed, unfocused look in his eyes marred the picture of rebirth. Understandable, I suppose. Just reborn, mine still catching up. Time for my performance. I let out a low, pained groan. Senior brother. His focus snapped back. Seeing my charred, smoking form, he rushed over and gathered me into his arms. My ruined hand, flesh blackened and bloody, weakly grasped his strong forearm. I forced tears, half real pain, half acting. Senior brother. It hurts. It hurts so much. He hesitated for only a fraction of a second. Then he slit his wrist with a sharp burst of spiritual energy. Blood, not crimson but a shimmering gold, dripped from his index finger towards my mouth. Unlike normal blood's metallic tang, phoenix blood tasted faintly sweet, like exotic fruit nectar. The moment it touched my tongue, the agonizing pain from the fiery backlash vanished, replaced by a warm, invigorating surge. Instinctively, I latched onto his finger, greedily sucking down the precious drops. Lu Yan watched me, his expression unreadable, complex. Knowing I shouldn't appear too eager, I forced myself to release his finger, nestling weakly against his chest, feigning near-death fragility. Senior brother, take me to master. My master, Taoist Yuzhan, was the second elder of Zhongling Mountain. When the sect master was in seclusion, he handled sect affairs. As his only disciple, he doted on me like a daughter. So when Lu Yan carried my battered body to his courtyard, Taoist Yuzhan's reaction was explosive. With a furious sweep of his hand, Lu Yan was sent flying several meters, crashing against a stone wall. A newly awakened phoenix possessed power equivalent to the peak nascent soul stage, but Lu Yan was intentionally suppressing his cultivation level, appearing only as a golden core cultivator to outsiders. Still a monstrous talent but less alarming. Lu Yan wiped blood from his lip, steadied a frantic Gu Xiao who had rushed to his side, and bowed deeply to Taoist Yuzhan. Disciple is willing to accept punishment. In the early stages of the plot, Lu Yan needed to hide his phoenix identity. Gu Xiao, loyal to him, wouldn't expose him. But I was a different variable now. I struggled to prop myself up, coughing weakly, my eyes darting to Lu Yan. Seeing his tightly furrowed brow and worried expression confirmed my leverage. I reached out, tugging weakly at Taoist Yuzhan's sleeve. Master. It wasn't senior brother Lu's fault. I was too eager in my cultivation. I suffered chi deviation. Senior brother Lu was trying to save me. He acted hastily and accidentally injured me further. Please don't blame him, master. Taoist Yuzhan looked down at me, his anger softening into a sigh filled with paternal concern. Very well. That's the case. I'll go prepare some medicine for you. I nodded obediently, sinking back onto the bed he conjured, playing dead. Lu Yan and Gu Xiao approached. Gu Xiao's eyes were filled with tears, her expression pitying. Luo, are you alright? Thank you. Thank you for not revealing Lu Yan's secret. Ignoring her, I fixed my gaze on Lu Yan, letting my eyes droop sadly. Senior brother. Do you truly dislike me so much? He froze, then awkwardly reached out and tucked the blanket around me. No. I closed my eyes, shutting them out. Gu Xiao lingered for a moment before leaving, but Lu Yan announced he would stay and watch over me. Those few drops of phoenix blood had catapulted me from the 8th level of foundation building straight to the peak 10th level, just shy of core formation. As I circulated the potent spiritual energy through my meridians, Lu Yan's hand suddenly clamped down on my wrist, fingers pressing against my pulse point. What is your true objective? His suspicion was understandable. His unique identity made him paranoid. I suspected he suffered from a persecution complex. Why did you cover for me? He pressed, his voice low and intense. I don't recall our relationship being particularly deep. Beneath the covers I viciously pinched my thigh, forcing fresh tears. Is that truly how you see me? My voice trembled. Seeing his confused expression, I went all in, leaning towards him, almost pressing against him. My feelings for you run deep, senior brother. Yet you suspect me of ulterior motives? Lu Yen inhaled sharply, abruptly pulling back, creating distance between us. I stared at my wrist where his hand had been, then offered a self-deprecating laugh. Of course. Senior brother only has eyes for Xiao. How could you possibly notice someone like me? I don't ask for affection, senior brother. Just perhaps don't always look at me with such coldness. He stood motionless for a long moment. Then I heard the soft click of the door as he left. Pulling the covers over my head, I tried to recall the upcoming plot points. Drowsiness began to claim me, but just as my eyes fluttered shut, Taoist Yuzhen returned, carrying a bowl of steaming dark, medicinal brew. Despite being centuries old, cultivation and likely appearance-preserving pills kept him looking like a young man. It always felt slightly strange, but his affection for me was genuine. Luo, he began, his tone heavy. Tell master the truth. Have you developed feelings for Lu Yen? He sighed deeply before I could answer. That boy. His heart only holds space for Gu Xiao and perhaps the sect master. Loving him is like a moth flying into a flame. His talent is immense. You could never force him to stay by your side even if you wanted to. Listen to master's advice. Cultivators must guard against desires. Sever these feelings early, before they lead you to another chi deviation. I drank the bitter medicine, feeling the pain in my body lessen significantly. Master, I said, changing the subject. I heard senior brother Lu and Xiao are going down the mountain in a few days to deal with a demon. I want to go too. You. Taoist Yuzhen's eyes widened, clearly about to scold me for my foolishness. But he hesitated, then reached out gently, wiping a stray drop of medicine from the corner of my mouth. In the original story, Luo fell to the demonic path because her unrequited love festered into obsession. She suppressed her feelings, afraid to approach Lu Yen, and the pressure twisted her mind. I was more pragmatic. Approaching Lu Yen served two purposes: advancing my cultivation, and indulging the feelings I couldn't seem to suppress anyway. If I kept my distance, perhaps I too would warp under the strain. Once I reached the golden core stage, things would be different. I could cultivate the heart-freezing art, severing emotions, cutting away desires. Ascension would become my sole focus. Love? Romance? To hell with it. I closed my eyes, savoring the lingering sweet aftertaste of phoenix blood in my memory. Truly potent stuff. Taoist Yuzhen tended to my injuries daily, and Lu Yen, perhaps out of guilt or burgeoning obligation, sent several rare snow lotuses. By the time they were set to depart for their mission, I was healed enough to appear before them, vibrant and ready. Luo. Gu Xiao greeted me warmly, linking her arm through mine. You're all better? Are you coming down the mountain with us? I nodded, turning my gaze to Lu Yen. Senior brother Lu. He stiffened slightly, looking away before giving a curt, almost inaudible, Amen. Beside me, Gu Xiao blinked, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. Luo, it seems your relationship with Lu Yen has improved quite a bit. I smiled outwardly, while inwardly rolling my eyes so hard I risked pulling a muscle. Improved? Or just strategically manipulated? The original Luo's fall had been partly Gu Xiao's fault, or rather, the plot's fault for centering everything around her. But the constant pressure from the second male lead, Jing Chu, hadn't helped either. Jing Chu, possessing some uncanny radar for detecting feelings towards Gu Xiao, had relentlessly harassed the original Luo, fueling her insecurities and resentment. Witnessing a kiss between the main leads, followed by another humiliating tirade from Jing Chu, was the final push into darkness. Love truly does make one foolish. The original Luo was so blinded by Lu Yen she neglected her cultivation, dying pitifully at the mere third level of core formation. If she'd been stronger, she might have survived longer after injuring Gu Xiao. Let's get going, I urged, summoning my flying sword and leaping onto it, streaking ahead. Gu Xiao shared Lu Yan's sword. At only the third level of foundation building, she couldn't yet manage stable flight on her own. As I soared through the air, my mind raced, bracing for the imminent appearance of Jingqiu. This trope-filled encounter gave me a headache just thinking about it. The altitude sickness wasn't helping either. My face felt pale, the air thin. Luo Luo. Lu Yan's voice cut through the wind. I turned, surprised to see genuine concern in his eyes. I'm fine, I called back. Your injuries aren't fully healed. Don't push yourself. Gu Xiao tugged his sleeve. Maybe we should land and rest for a while? And cue the dramatic entrance, I thought wryly. Here comes the great god of plot convenience, delivering male lead number 2. Jingqiu, son of the Northern Realm King, currently exiled due to a power struggle. He seemed insignificant now, but hidden within him was a nascent soul pill. The condensed essence of a late-stage divinity transformation expert, his grandfather. Currently at the core formation stage himself, he couldn't absorb it yet. But later, post-Golden Core, he would refine the pill, his power skyrocketing towards the Grand Ascension stage. A definite growth stock, pure profit. The novel described his first meeting with Gu Xiao thus. On the brink of death, Jingqiu saw a fairy descend, her lips curving into a gentle smile. Slender hands lifted a water flask, supporting him as sweet spring water flowed into his parched mouth. As consciousness returned, her smile, framed by eyes as bright and clear as crescent moons, captured his entire attention. This destined encounter. While helping Gu Xiao prop up the dying man, I discreetly gave his arm several vicious pinches. That's for bullying the original Luo Luo. And that's for your venomous tongue. My expression must have been too fierce, because Lu Yan kept glancing over warily. I quickly schooled my features into demure helpfulness. Jingqiu eventually fluttered his eyes open, gazing gratefully at Gu Xiao's concerned face. You saved me? Gu Xiao offered a gentle smile. You're badly injured, don't speak. Here's a heart-protecting pill, take it. After feeding him the pill, she hurried back to Lu Yan, asking if they could make camp here for a while. With Lu Yan's consent, they set up a campfire as dusk settled. I ended up near Jingqiu, initially wanting to ignore him but feeling a pang of pity at his genuinely wretched state. I shoved a cushion behind his back. He coughed, spitting up blood dramatically. I stared at him for a long moment before drawling. You can stop pretending. You're about to bite your tongue clean off. He glared back, not missing a beat. And you can stop staring. Your eyeballs are about to fall out. Gu Xiao and Lu Yan returned with fresh wild fruits, distributing them. Jingqiu gazed at the lovely Gu Xiao with utterly smitten gratitude. She's the first person who's ever been this kind to me. His internal monologue practically screamed from the page. Born into royalty, life was nothing but power struggles and dark conspiracies. Never has anyone shown me such selfless kindness. Honestly, were all the men in this novel brain damaged? Any decent person would help someone bleeding out by the roadside. How did basic human decency translate to selfless, unconditional kindness? If she offered to transfer her entire cultivation base to him, let's see if she wouldn't smack him with a brick instead. Watching Jingqiu dissolve into a puddle of gratitude, I couldn't help but grin widely. Lu Yan tapped my shoulder lightly, and I immediately wiped the smirk off my face. Don't smile, he muttered inexplicably. I touched my face. Okay, maybe I wasn't a nation-toppling beauty, but I was decent-looking, clear eyes, bright teeth, a certain charm. Was my smile really that ugly? Wild fruits weren't filling. I slipped away and caught a rabbit. Gu Xiao's lower lip trembled. Luo Luo, rabbits are so cute. Can we not eat the rabbit? I swear I want to find the author and beat them. Jingqiu chimed in weakly. Yes, killing is so cruel. Stop drooling, hypocrite. Ignoring the bleeding heart duo, I expertly skinned and gutted the rabbit, skewered it on a branch, and set it roasting over the fire. When it was cooked, I offered it around. Only Lu Yan accepted a leg. Gu Xiao looked tearfully at him. Ah Yin. Lu Yan patted her head gently. Fruits aren't enough to fill the stomach. Gu Xiao fell silent, pouting slightly as she wrapped herself in her cloak to rest. The campfire soon died down, plunging the forest into silence. Someone nudged me. I knew Jingqiu's antagonistic side was emerging. I advise you to stay away from that Lu Yan, he hissed. Otherwise, I won't be polite. I yawned. And who are you to tell me what to do? Is this how a devoted admirer acts? Scheming in the shadows, keeping your noble actions secret? How touching. He didn't reply verbally. His hand clamped around my throat. With the nascent soul pill inside him, he wasn't truly near death. His earlier weakness was likely feigned, unwilling to risk revealing the pill's presence by drawing on its power. I'll only say this once. His grip tightened. My hand shot up, aiming for his eyes. I'll do as I please. It's none of your business. If you like Gu Xiao, go pursue her properly. Stop trying to intimidate me, or you won't like the consequences. The original Luo Luo, with her mediocre cultivation, might have feared him, but I had just broken through to the first level of core formation a few days ago. Our cultivation levels were comparable, and he was injured. Threatening me? Bad move. Fueled by indignation, I unleashed a flurry of punches, beating the surprised Jingchu soundly. Knowing Lu Yan could likely hear the commotion, once Jingchu was subdued, I scurried over to where Lu Yan lay, feigning distress. Senior brother Lu. My neck hurts. After a long pause, Lu Yan turned over. His fingers, coated with cool ointment, gently massaged my bruised neck. Senior brother, I asked softly, do you like Xiao? I see Xiao as a sister. Right. Official pairing still playing coy. Sister my foot. He might call her sister, but she was far more important than one. Still, his answer was useful. I scrambled back over to the groaning, immobilized Jingchu. Hear that? The man himself says she's like a sister. Stop meddling where you're not wanted. In the dim light, I saw Jingchu's fingers clawing uselessly at the dirt. Our target was a bone spirit demon. Normally, these were low-level creatures, but this one had nested in an auspiciously terrible location, the heart of a mass burial ground. It had absorbed the concentrated resentment of the entire area for decades, maybe centuries, eventually gaining enough power to take human form. Appearing as a tall, ethereal young man draped in flowing purple robes, idly arranging his dark hair. Lu Yan and I were the main attackers. Jingchu, still recovering, could only observe. Gu Xiao's cultivation was too low for direct combat. She could only provide minor support. I watched Jingchu covertly channeling spiritual energy into Gu Xiao, helping her maintain mental clarity. This place lacked spiritual energy. Instead, it was thick with miasma and clinging resentment. It was easy to fall prey to illusions, the bone spirit's favorite trick. I had to admit, I was slightly impressed by Jingchu's dedication. Forcefully drawing on the unstable nascent soul pill risked shattering his internal organs. Logically, this minor demon should have been trivial for Lu Yan. Yet, one moment he was cautioning me to be careful, the next he froze, eyes vacant. Clearly caught in an illusion. I sighed. Looking over, Gu Xiao, thanks to Jingchu's support, was still lucidly fighting off skeletal minions. Bone spirits. Weak in direct combat, masters of psychological warfare. Do you want to know what he sees? A chilling voice whispered directly behind me. An icy presence pressed against my back, raising goosebumps all over my skin. The bone spirit's voice was soft, almost feminine, and disturbingly seductive as its incorporeal fingers toyed with a strand of my hair. Little beauty, why waste your affections on that block of ice? Come, be my ghostly bride in this graveyard. We could be happy together forever. The scenery around me instantly shifted. Silks and satins filled the air, the festive sounds of gongs, drums, and swonas echoing loudly, a wedding procession. The bone spirit materialized before me, dressed as a groom in red robes and a scholar's cap, a red silk flower pinned to his chest. He wore Lu Yan's face and leaned in to kiss me. My eyes darted elsewhere. Gu Xiao stood limply against a tree, her expression blissfully unaware. Lu Yan, however, looked tormented, slashing his sword wildly at the ground, sparks flying. Great. Both main leads incapacitated. Jingchu was outside the main burial ground, unable to see or help. Why struggle? The Lu Yan-faced demon murmured. Surrender to bliss with me. It's ecstasy. Its voice was too soft, too cloying, the complete opposite of Lu Yan's clear, cool tone. Spinning around, I slashed at it with my own spiritual energy. You old pervert. The only relationship we could possibly have is sisterhood. The bone spirit chuckled, effortlessly drifting away. Suddenly, I felt a wave of intense heat. Lu Yan had unleashed his full power, spiritual energy radiating outwards. Magnificent, fiery phoenix wings unfurled behind him, each flicker shedding embers potent enough to incinerate the entire mountain. The ambient resentment began to dissipate under the onslaught. But Lu Yan remained trapped in his illusion, his power raging uncontrollably. A phoenix was born at the peak nascent soul stage, but Lu Yan was the last of his kind. He had no mentor, no guide to teach him control. He learned through instinct and painful growth. If he lost control completely, the resulting devastation could level multiple peaks, causing unimaginable destruction. What could he possibly be seeing in his illusion that held him so captive? Even Gu Xiao had snapped out of her daze, staring at the berserk Lu Yan, trembling with fear. At higher cultivation realms, anything could become a weapon. Spiritual energy could be shaped at will. And Lu Yan's thunder root allowed him to summon heavenly lightning. My eyelids twitched nervously, terrified he might call down 9 bolts and vaporize us all. Instead, Lu Yan plucked a single blazing feather from his wing. It transformed into a sword of pure light. Eyes filled with terrifying rage and grim determination, he lunged, not at the demon but straight towards Gu Xiao. He looked not like he was attacking his destined love, but his mortal enemy. My mind blanked. The author definitely didn't write a scene where they tried to kill each other. But instinct took over. What better way to rack up affection points and solidify my position than saving his beloved's life? In that split second, I threw myself in front of Gu Xiao. Senior brother Lu. I cried out his name, hoping to reach him. The spell broke. Lu Yan's eyes cleared instantly, but it was too late. The fiery sword pierced through my shoulder, exiting cleanly out my back. Blood spurted like a fountain. He reacted instantly, dropping the sword, catching me as I collapsed. Luo Luo. He always used my full name, the pronunciation heavy. But just now it sounded softer, lighter, like a feather falling. You're injured again. I forced a weak smile. Xiao is very important to senior brother. If she were hurt, you would be heartbroken. Take that vintage green tea bitch move. 40 years of B-movie watching prowess, honed to perfection. Could he resist that? Lu Yan didn't speak. Behind him, a miniature golden figure materialized, his nascent soul, the clearest manifestation of his peak stage power. The golden figure zipped towards a specific grave mound, plucked the cowering bone spirit from its hiding place, and crushed it into dust with a casual squeeze. Just as I thought. The demon was nothing to him. What kind of illusion could possibly ensnare a peak nascent soul cultivator so deeply? Lu Yan pressed down on my bleeding shoulder. Does it hurt? He asked softly. Then he lowered his head, bit his own tongue, and pressed his lips to mine, transferring his pure blood. Pure blood second only to heart's blood. The very essence of a phoenix's vitality. A single drop would require 81 days of dedicated cultivation for Lu Yan to replenish. It was overwhelmingly potent. The influx of pure, raw energy rushed through me, making my head spin. I barely registered Gu Xiao's deathly pale face in the background. This incident significantly closed the distance between Lu Yan and me. The shoulder wound was severe, refusing to heal properly. He visited daily, transferring spiritual energy to aid my recovery. It wasn't tongue blood anymore, thankfully. One must learn contentment. When I asked him what he saw in the illusion that day, he just shook his head, refusing to say a word. My cultivation soared like a rocket, reaching the peak of core formation. Once I entered the golden core stage, Phoenix blood would lose most of its dramatic boosting effect. Gu Xiao never said anything explicit, but I knew she twisted her handkerchief into knots every time Lu Yan came to see me. Meanwhile, Jing Chu had been brought back to Zhongling Mountain by her. While nursing her own emotional wounds, she also tended to him. According to the original timeline, Jing Chu's injuries should be healing by now. If the plot held true, he'd soon confront me, his angry words triggering another chi deviation in the original Luo Luo. A shiver ran down my spine. No way was I letting that happen. I quickly started pushing Lu Yan back towards Gu Xiao. He stared at my now scarred shoulder, a complex expression on his face, finally settling into a twisted smile. 3 parts mockery, 3 parts coldness, 4 parts anger. A perfect pie chart of pissed-off protagonist. Didn't you say you liked me? He asked, his voice dangerously soft. Why are you pushing me away? I pouted. Xiao will be sad. We're sisters. I can't bear to see her hurt like this. His expression softened slightly. I only see her as a sister. He planted his hand firmly on the doorframe, blocking my attempt to close it. Let me apply medicine. It's already scarred over. Scar removal ointment. The man I marry someday won't care about a scar. Crack. A piece of the doorframe splintered under his grip. His smile was beatific terrifying. Who? He asked sweetly. Did you have in mind? I wisely shut my mouth. 2 days later, Gu Xiao confessed her feelings to Lu Yan. In the original novel, this was the moment Lu Yan finally acknowledged his own heart, filled with overwhelming tenderness, pulling her into his arms, feeling like he held the entire world. But reality diverged sharply. Lu Yan did nothing. He actually took a step back, creating distance. Gu Xiao stared in shock. Mustering her courage, she surged forward, grabbing his shoulders, pressing her lips to his. The moment their lips met, I turned to leave. As Lu Yan pushed Gu Xiao away, his eyes met mine across the courtyard. Luo Luo. Let me explain. My response was pure drama queen. I won't listen. I won't listen. I won't listen. The main leads were having their moment. The supporting character's role was over. Time for my exit. I went to Taoist Yuzhan, asking for the heart-freezing art. He informed me it was a secret technique of the ruthless path. The ruthless path requires severing all emotions and desires. To cultivate it, you must undergo emotional tribulation, proving your detachment. He peered at me cautiously. Do you think you could defeat Lu Yan in a fight? My silence was answer enough. Defeat a peak nascent soul phoenix? Not likely. Instead, I went to the affairs hall and accepted a mission. Transport the remnant heart of the sealed demon Lord Fengyu to the heavenly pool for final containment. Halfway there, I knew I was being followed. It had to be Jing Chu. Male lead number 2. Always devoted to the heroine, always slightly unhinged. Whether gentle or obsessive, his world revolved around Gu Xiao. A sense of despair washed over me. I couldn't beat him, especially not now. He appeared before me, his aura significantly stronger, darker. You forcefully refined the nascent soul pill. I exclaimed, horrified. How did you know I had the pill? A vicious glint entered his eyes. You truly cannot be allowed to live. He seemed lost in painful memories. These past days, Xiao has cried constantly. If it weren't for you, she would be happy. I was numb. Then you should go beat up Lu Yan. Maybe he'll agree to marry into her family or something. I can't defeat him, Jing Chu spat. So unfortunately, you'll have to die. As I plummeted towards the jagged rocks of the cliff face below, a single heartfelt curse escaped my lips. This situation was abysmal. Sharp stone pillars rose from the chasm, and several impaled me cleanly. In my dying moments, a translucent figure appeared, the original Luo Luo. She timidly poked my fading consciousness. See? Fate cannot be defied. Sighed. Characters always die. Was I selfish? Summoning you because I didn't want to face eternal reincarnation? Now you'll have to suffer through it, again and again. Her whining gave me a headache. Can you please shut up? I managed weakly, forcing my eyes open. She continued, oblivious. Actually, you did very well. Lu Yan already has feelings for you. But the heavenly Tao cannot be defied. Forcing changes only leads to an earlier death. I refuse to die, I retorted. The original Luo Luo jumped back in alarm. No, you mustn't. If you become a demon, no one will ever love you. Zhongling Mountain will erase your existence. You'll be betrayed by everyone, despised by the world. I don't care. With the last of my strength, I focus my will on the container holding the demon lord's remnant heart. Since you chose me to inherit your life, stop dictating how I live it. Betrayal? Despised by all? Fine. I just want to live, even as a side character doomed to die. My eyes narrowed. In my story, I am the protagonist. I shattered the seal. Dark, potent energy surged into me. Now I was a fledgling demon, complete with 2 small, newly sprouted black horns, trailing after the demon Lord Fengyu like a lost puppy. It wasn't my fault. Fengyu was just half a remnant heart when I found him. Only by willingly offering my remaining life force as fuel, allowing him to absorb it and partially reconstruct a physical form, did I manage to cheat death. Even so, the gaping hole in my stomach remained, a grisly reminder of my impalement. Fengyu, sealed for 1,000 years, possessed only a sliver of his former power, barely enough to keep me alive. He claimed we needed to reach the demon realm, absorb pure, concentrated demonic energy before he could truly heal me. If there was a ranking for the most pathetic demons, Fengyu and I would undoubtedly top the list. He'd somehow acquired a donkey cart from some unfortunate villager, piled straw in the back for me, and now drove it with a makeshift vine whip. Every bump in the road sent jolts of agony through me, making me cough up blood. My cultivation was gone, sacrificed to Fengyu, leaving me the weakest of demons. Fengyu himself, needing to repair his core, was only at the foundation building stage. We even had to wrap cloths around our heads to hide my horns and his demonic aura, terrified of being spotted by righteous cultivators. That would be a swift end to our pathetic journey. Fengyu lashed the donkey's rump, the vine cracking sharply. He muttered curses under his breath. Listening closely, I finally made out the words, "Qian Su, you damnable bitch. When I ascend to the heavens again, I'll flay you alive." I managed a weak chuckle. Still boasting? You were nearly obliterated by the heavens, and you're already planning revenge. He turned his head, his eyes glinting menacingly. One more word, and I'll toss you out. Is that how you treat your savior? Fengyu snorted. Who saved whom? Without me you be vulture food. Once we reach the demon realm and fix you up, get lost back to your cultivator world. The cultivator world won't have me now, I reminded him wryly. He rubbed his nose thoughtfully. True. Bunch of sanctimonious old bastards. He glanced back at me. Still, your foundation is damaged. In the demon realm, you'll only ever be a minor demonling. Time to lay it on thick. Then I shall rely on your excellency's continued benevolence and protection, I simpered. Fengyu shuddered violently. Calamitous woman, he muttered, turning back to whip the donkey, resuming his colorful cursing of Qian Su's ancestors. When we finally reached the demon realm's gates, the guards refused entry. Fengyu leaned against the massive obsidian gate, struck a pose he likely thought was suave but mostly looked greasy, and flicked his hair back. Summon Fengji for me. Now. The two guards eyed his dusty clothes and the stray piece of straw stuck in his hair. Clearly thinking he was mocking them, they simultaneously kicked him, sending him rolling several times in the dirt. The mighty demon lord, subjected to such indignity. Fengyu slowly picked himself up, an unnerving smile spreading across his face. Good. Very good. You have successfully provoked me. I couldn't watch. Even reduced to this state, his dramatic flair burned bright. Honestly, it was a miracle the heavens hadn't completely snuffed out such a foolishly prideful creature. Still, this was the demon realm. Demonic energy hung thick and heavy. Unlike the cultivator world, demonic succession was hereditary. Fengyu hadn't left any heirs, leaving the demon realm leaderless. The vast demonic energy here remained largely unabsorbed, contributing to the perpetually overcast, ominous atmosphere. Fengyu sat cross-legged on the ground and began meditating. Dark purple demonic energy swirled around him, growing thicker. After about 15 minutes, his previously haggard appearance vanished, replaced by renewed vigor. He leaped up and roared, "Fengji, old man, get your ass out here." I cautiously tried to absorb some of the ambient demonic energy myself, but found I couldn't condense it in my dantian. Fengyu was right. I could only be a low-level demon. Only those born as demons could naturally refine demonic energy. Those who turned later, like me, usually relied on bloody, forbidden arts, cultivating through the resentment and lifeblood of the dying. That explained why demons were universally reviled. Unable to cultivate properly, was I doomed to be helpless forever? Fengyu stood beside me, radiating smugness. A wave of despair washed over me. I thought of Lu Yan. My grip on that powerful thigh hadn't been strong enough, leaving me vulnerable to Jingchu's betrayal. Would Lu Yan even notice I was gone? Feeling an overwhelming need for support, I instinctively reached out and grasped Fengyu's arm. The moment our skin touched, demonic energy surged into me like a tidal wave, rushing through my meridians, coalescing in my dantian, and flooding my limbs with newfound strength. Even the ghastly wound in my abdomen began knitting itself together at a visible rate, pink flesh forming over the void. "What are you doing to me?" Fengyu yelped, looking horrified. I glanced down at our connected arms. My hand seemed fused to his skin, impossible to remove. The energy transfer showed no sign of stopping. It felt like it would drain him dry. A slow smile spread across my face. "My lord," I purred. "This humble servant admires you so deeply, she cannot bear to be parted from you." Fengyu slapped frantically at my hand while simultaneously forming a hand seal to sever the connection. He succeeded, but the sudden drain left him weakened, stumbling back with a look of violated helplessness. I rose, stretching my revitalized limbs, and scooped the momentarily powerless demon lord into my arms bridal style. He looked profoundly displeased, squirming out of my hold and immediately sitting down to meditate again, trying to recover his lost energy. Just then, an elderly demon with shrewd eyes arrived, Fengji. He took in the scene, his lordship looking utterly constipated, and me Dunzata Samban Shao Mi Mitawa, squatting beside him grinning. Suddenly life felt full of possibilities again. I was blissfully unaware that someone somewhere was searching for me with frantic desperation. It's a well-known fact. A qualified doting male lead in these stories must possess dangerous, borderline personality traits like possessiveness and extreme obsession. Why? Plot convenience, of course. All the better to fuel the passionate, consuming, inseparable love between the main characters. Lu Yan naturally fit the mold. In the original novel, his love for Gu Xiao bordered on madness. He couldn't tolerate her even exchanging glances with another man, often resorting to punishing her fiercely in the bedroom. Honestly, he had the potential to be the star of a stallion novel. When Lu Yan finally found me, I was, shall we say, deeply entangled with Fengyu. I craved the demonic energy flowing from him, especially the electrifying tingle and rapid power boost I got from physical contact. Fengyu's daily routine now included cursing Qian Su's ancestors and meticulously reciting my entire family tree with utter contempt. Fengyu's uncle, seemed amused by his nephew's theatrics. Unlike the impulsive Fengyu was a conservative strategist. He preferred patiently rebuilding strength over recklessly challenging the entire cultivator realm again. Especially after the last disastrous attempt ended with Fengyu being cast into the abyss. Besides, while I did absorb Fengyu's energy, I only ever took about a third of what he refined. The remaining 2/3, after his 81 cycles of meditation, became even purer. It was practically beneficial for him. So, I wished Fengyu would be more generous and stop being so stingy. He wasn't some delicate maiden. Whining about being taken advantage of was unbecoming of a powerful demon lord. Pervert. Fengyu smacked my hand away from his chest. It wasn't my fault his pectoral muscles were just so firm. In 2 lifetimes I'd barely touched a man. A girl has needs. I shifted my hand to his arm instead. My lord, just one more sip. Just a tiny one. He shot me a suspicious look. Are you treating me as your personal cultivation furnace? Tears welled in my eyes. After our life and death bond, how could you say such a thing? He faltered just for a second. In that instant of distraction, a fresh wave of demonic energy flowed into me through our connected hands. Fengyu blinked. Women, he sighed. All the same. Lying without batting an eye. My sensitive demonic nose suddenly picked up an unfamiliar scent, sharp and clean, cutting through the heavy demonic air. Which woman deceived you? Tell your sister, I'll go sort her out. Fengyu smoothed his dark robes. She resides in the 9th heaven. How would you possibly reach her? Ah, so that was why he cursed Qian Su daily. A poor, pitiful boy abandoned by a wicked woman. I patted his shoulder sympathetically. Don't worry. I'll always be here for you. His face twitched. Thanks but no thanks. Please leave as soon as possible. I lunged playfully to pinch his cheek, but froze mid-motion. A chilling blade aura sliced through the air, stopping inches from my face. Lu Yan stepped into the main hall, sword drawn. In his other hand he dragged a barely conscious, brutally beaten Jing Chu. Luo. Lu Yan's voice was deceptively calm. I searched so hard for you. My legs turned to jelly. I instinctively scrambled closer to Fengyu for protection. This action clearly infuriated Lu Yan, though his smile only widened, becoming colder. His lips curved, eyes narrowed, radiating dangerous delight. He tilted his head, mouthing silently at Fengyu Dai. Jing Chu, dumped unceremoniously on the floor, let out a pained groan. Lu Yan seemed irritated by the sound. He grabbed Jing Chu's hair, slammed his head viciously against the stone floor, and the man instantly fell unconscious. Luo, Lu Yan continued smoothly, turning back to me. Are you angry I didn't protect you properly? I brought him here. Dispose of him as you wish. I looked away from the bloody mess that was Jing Chu. You practically killed him already. But you died once because of him, Lu Yan stated flatly, then kicked the unconscious form for good measure. I went down the cliff, Luo. I saw the stone pillars. His voice suddenly broke, laced with anguish. It must have hurt so much. He held out his hand to me. his expression softening, almost gentle. Come back with me. Before I could respond, Feng Yu leaped forward. Who the hell do you think you are? Barging in here demanding she leave? Do you take me, Feng Yu, for nothing? Lu Yan didn't explode, but the atmosphere turned glacial. Is it him? He asked, his voice dangerously low, his eyes fixed on Feng Yu. That makes you want to stay? Fine. I'll kill him right now. And then they were fighting. I screamed from the sidelines. Stop. Stop fighting. Please stop. But they were locked in combat, two powerful forces clashing violently. Seeing an opportunity, I kicked off one of my shoes, throwing it squarely at Feng Yu's back. He cursed, momentarily distracted, turning towards me. In that instant, Lu Yan's sword lunged for Feng Yu's heart. I reacted without thinking, shoving Feng Yu aside and throwing myself into Lu Yan's arms. He froze, startled, his sword clattering to the floor. Senior brother, I whispered, clinging to him, noticing a smear of blood on his shoulder from Feng Yu's attack. Don't get hurt because of me. He looked down at me, his expression hardening with resolve. Come back. I sighed. Senior brother, I've already fallen onto the demonic path. Can you protect me from the judgment of the world? From our fellow disciples? From the sect master and Master Yuzhan? Are you willing to abandon everything, betray the entire world, for one insignificant demoness like me? I pressed closer, whispering in his ear. Senior brother, do you know how many centuries it's been since anyone ascended to the ninth heaven? Are you willing to give up that once-in-a-millennium chance? For me. Lu Yan's lips pressed into a thin line. We, he said softly, haven't shared osmanthus wine together yet. I smiled, reaching up to smooth the worry lines from his brow. All right. Tomorrow I will go back with you. Lu Yan waited for me outside the demon realm's borders. Phoenixes, creatures of pure light and fire, couldn't tolerate the dense, corrupting demonic energy for long. Feng Yu picked up my discarded shoe and tossed it back to me. His lips curled in a sneer. You must be thrilled, woman. All those clues you deliberately left behind weren't wasted. Your lover finally came. A triumphant smile touched my lips. If he didn't already care, how would he have ever found me? You'd be better off staying here, Feng Yu warned. Going back is a death sentence. I studied his face. Young, arrogant, burdened with immense power he inherited too soon. He gambled everything on a woman named Qian Su, on the hope she felt something genuine for him, and lost spectacularly. Now I was making my own gamble. Was Lu Yan's love for me real? But the crucial point was this. Lu Yan must not ascend. Ascension would change him, purify him, make him like Qian Su, prioritizing the greater good, the fate of the world above all else. He wouldn't be my Lu Yan anymore. I wouldn't force him. I merely gave him a choice. I knew Jing Chu would follow me. So I had invited Lu Yan to taste my newly brewed osmanthus wine beneath the wutong tree outside my old quarters. Buried beneath that tree were years' worth of unsent love letters. He would keep the appointment. I wouldn't be there. He would discover the depth of my feelings only after I vanished. Before Jing Chu attacked, I left a shred of ribbon tied to a branch near the cliff edge, embroidered with a phoenix. If Lu Yan saw it and descended the cliff, he would find the shoe I'd accidentally dropped. And if he truly searched for me, he would eventually pick up the trail of unique demonic energy I subtly left behind, scented, always, with the wutong wood fragrance he associated with me. I had planned for contingencies. If he hadn't come, I would have lived out my days in the demon realm. But he did come, so I would go with him. All this scheming, all this effort just to prove one thing. That in Lu Yan's heart I was different. Irreplaceable. Am I terrible? I asked Feng Yu softly. Women, he declared flatly, are nothing but trouble. I bit my lip then smiled brightly. Only the troublesome ones are remembered forever. Wouldn't you agree? Feng Yu's face darkened, likely dredging up unpleasant memories. Just go, he snapped. Get out. I gave him a deep, formal bow, a silent thanks for his reluctant hospitality. He stood tall and straight, a lonely figure radiating youthful pride and ancient sorrow. He remained standing there long after I reached the demon realm's exit. Just as I stepped across the threshold, I heard his voice carried on the wind. If he fails to protect you, you can return to the demon realm. I touched the small horns hidden beneath my head covering and smiled back at the distant figure. Yes, Lord Demon Lord. Lu Yan waited, sword held loosely, His usual icy demeanor softened slightly upon seeing me. Let's go. I took a deep breath, the path ahead feeling dark and treacherous. Go where? His brow furrowed. Zhongling Mountain. Are you actually trying to get me killed? He stepped closer, gently tucking a stray strand of hair behind my ear. With me here, you have nothing to fear. But the demon lord has re-emerged. I pressed. The righteous sects will undoubtedly convene an extermination assembly. Don't you realize I am the cause of all this? Zhongling Mountain was supposed to seal the remnant heart, but I released it, nurtured it with my own spirit. The cultivation world must be in chaos by now. The rumors surely paint me as the demon lord's irredeemable lackey. I'm a traitor, the scum of the righteous path, deserving execution by all. Tears welled hot and unexpected. Being a villainess was exhausting. Escaping one trap only to walk into another. Defying fate clearly came at a steep price. Loving the protagonist truly offered no good end. Lu Yan gently covered my eyes with his hand. His voice was warm, soothing like a spring breeze. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. He paused. We'll go back, see Taoist Yuzhan. He misses you terribly. And then we leave. He removed his hand, his gaze intense. As for the future, I understand your feelings now, Luo Luo. He met my eyes directly. And I also favor Junior's sister. Enough. That was enough. Lu Yan loved me. At least now I wouldn't die by his hand. But reality was far worse than imagined. Lu Yan had come searching for me because he had already defected from Zhongling Mountain. His actions had enraged even the sect master, who had cherished him like a son. So our return was truly just a quick, dangerous visit to see Taoist Yuzhan before fleeing again. Two traitors emerging from Zhongling Mountain in quick succession. It was an unprecedented humiliation. Other sects were practically demanding the sect master cleanse his ranks. Within the entire sect, only Taoist Yuzhan still believed in us. This return spelled doom. Standing within the restrictive formation array, I heard the sect master roar. Traitorous disciple. The force of his voice alone sent me staggering, blood trickling from my lips. I knew deep down this was unavoidable. This was where the original Luo Luo met her end, judged by the sect master, using her last breath to try and kill Gu Xiao, only to be pierced through the heart by Lu Yan's sword. A hateful, bitter end. This demon extermination assembly was essentially my execution, a sacrifice to appease the heavens and the other sects. I wiped the blood from my mouth and kowtowed 3 times towards Taoist Yuzhan, who was bound helplessly by immortal binding ropes, an orphan in my past life. Taoist Yuzhan had raised me in this one. A master for a day is a father for life. I had brought shame upon him. Master, disciple has failed you. Taoist Yuzhan struggled frantically, nearly tumbling from the platform. Luo Luo, why did you come back? I didn't want to. Blame the damned plot. No matter how hard I schemed, the major plot points seemed immutable. Lu Yan, driven by forces beyond his control, had brought me back here. As the protagonist, he'd likely survive. But me, the variable, the anomaly. I was scheduled to collect my death flag right here, right now. The sect master raised his hand slightly. An invisible weight like a collapsing mountain pressed down on me. The tiles beneath my knees cracked and shattered. I desperately held on to my last shred of strength, resisting the crushing force. Pain pulsed in my chest, each breath tasting of iron. In less than the time it takes an incense stick to burn, my meridians would rupture, killing me. Taoist Yuzhan couldn't break the immortal binding ropes. And Lu Yan, I had given him water from the pool of slumber before we arrived, a potent sedative. He should still be deeply unconscious. Who could save me now? In the crowd I saw Gu Xiao, her fists clenched tightly. Her face showed a flicker of pity, but it was overshadowed by grim determination. Yes, she was the female lead. Lu Yan was her male lead. So what was I? Did I transmigrate just to struggle futilely, only to experience the original character's death firsthand? No, shouldn't be like this. I would survive. I would defy this damned fate. I was the protagonist here. My fate is my own to control. I stopped resisting, relaxing completely. I let the full weight of the sect master's power crash down upon me, and I mouthed 4 words silently towards Gu Xiao. I'm no saint either. Gu Xiao's eyes widened in realization, but she was too slow. A figure descended from the sky like a meteor. Lu Yan. The Lu Yan who should have been dead to the world under the pool of slumber's effects was here, eyes blazing crimson, bare-chested, wreathed in scorching flames. He landed amidst the assembly. Agonized screams erupted as his fire spread instantly, turning the sacred altar into a raging inferno. And in the heart of that fire, I looked directly at Gu Xiao and gave her the middle finger. Neither of us are good people. Gu Xiao had known from childhood she was the true Lu heir, and Lu Yan the last phoenix hidden among humans. The identity swap was meant to secure Lu Yan's absolute trust, positioning her to be his closest friend, confidant, and eventual wife. Barring unforeseen circumstances, Gu Xiao was meant to be the central pillar of Lu Yan's entire existence. The massacre at age 10 only solidified her role as his reason for living. Lu Yan lived for Gu Xiao, but he never knew it was all a grand conspiracy by the Lu elders to eventually control his power and elevate their clan. From the moment I arrived, I started weaving my own plans. I turned their inseparable duo into a complex trio. I ensured I was the first person Lu Yan saw clearly after his phoenix awakening, planting the seed that someone had loved him deeply from first sight. My repeated sacrifices, saving both him and Gu Xiao, were calculated to instill guilt and obligation. My flirtatious words, my carefully crafted vulnerability, all designed to hint that his heart was slowly, inevitably turning towards me. Drugging Lu Yan and having me executed was a sound plan. But Gu Xiao never anticipated one crucial deviation. On the journey back, I seduced Lu Yan. We consummated our relationship. Phoenixes bond for life, mating only once. Our souls were now intertwined. One body, one fate. Yi rong ju rong, yi sun ju sun. We flourish together, we perish together. Any pain inflicted on me would be mirrored, amplified onto him. As I said, my fate is my own. Am I terrible? I had asked him in the inferno's brief lull. Lu Yan's brow furrowed. It has nothing to do with you, he murmured, his voice strained. It is my failure. I did not protect you. Gu Xiao stared, her face a mask of disbelief. She stepped towards the altar, the purgatory flames parting before her. Then what am I? Ah Yin. My sister. She staggered back as if struck. You never felt anything more? Never. The pain was becoming unbearable. I could barely stay conscious, let alone listen to their melodrama. I just wanted to close my eyes, but a sharp agony jolted me fully awake. A sword blade protruded from my chest. Gu Xiao's azure wand sword had pierced me clean through from behind. Faster than thought, Lu Yan reacted. His hand flashed out, palm striking Gu Xiao's chest with lethal force. A sickening crunch echoed as his power shattered her sternum and heart. I genuinely hadn't expected this. I didn't die by the male lead's sword, but the female lead's. And the female lead was killed by the male lead. Now we're even, Lu Yan stated, his voice devoid of emotion as he caught my collapsing body. In the far northern realm there exists a legendary treasure, born from the essence of the sun and moon, capable of reviving the dead and regrowing flesh and bone. It is called the Tai Sui. Our unfortunate male lead number 2, Jing Chu, continued his thankless role. Lu Yan hauled him along, forcing him to lead the way to find the Tai Sui. Before then, Gu Xiao and I hovered between life and death, sustained only by potent heart-protecting lotuses. Our cultivation was shattered, and even walking a few steps induced violent, bloody coughing fits. 2 carriages separated me and Gu Xiao. Perhaps due to my slightly stronger demonic constitution, I regained consciousness after a few days, while Gu Xiao remained mostly comatose, only occasionally lucid. Jing Chu, consumed by guilt and perhaps rekindled affection, tended her tirelessly, even transferring the remainder of his unrefined nascent soul pill into her. Something felt different about Gu Xiao now. The naive, silly sweet aura from the original novel was gone, replaced by something cold and calculating. Lua Lua, wake up. Time for medicine. The carriage interior was padded, but my mortal wound prevented much movement. Days bled into weeks, yet the hole in my chest refused to heal, still weeping blood. The flesh around it turned from red to an ugly blackish purple, showing signs of necrosis. The inflamed area was now the size of a bowl. Gu Xiao's condition couldn't be much better. I looked at Lu Yan's impassive face, still faintly surprised. You were ruthless back there. He frowned slightly at my words. If one isn't ruthless, how can one sever ties completely? He reached out, gently parting the front of my robes. Seeing the worsening wound, his expression darkened further. He bit his fingertip, intending to apply his phoenix blood. But what was once a panacea now acted like poison. The moment his blood touched the wound, it felt like being seared by fire. The injury instantly worsened, the edges charring black. She anticipated you would try to heal me, I gasped, piecing it together. She must have laced her sword with a water elemental curse that reacts negatively to your fire-based blood. Lu Yan's frown deepened. He retrieved conventional medicine, applying it gently. Being confined in this small space, with him tending to my intimate injury, felt intensely awkward. I shifted, trying to avoid his gaze. This clearly displeased him, but then a ghost of a smile touched his lips. We have already seen each other in full honesty. Why be shy now? His voice dropped lower, his warm breath brushing my ear, sending shivers down my spine. Phoenixes ran hot. Lu Yan's body temperature was naturally higher than normal, his fingertips especially so. The proximity felt like a fever dream flushing my cheeks. His fingers, coated in cool ointment, gently probed the wound, massaging the medicine in. The pain made me whimper involuntarily. After finishing, he carefully drew me against his shoulder, avoiding the injury. From behind, the original inch-wide sword wound gaped open to more than 2 inches, flesh torn and raw. The medicine offered little real help. Better than nothing, perhaps. This body has already died once, I murmured. Demonic energy repaired the initial damage, but it cannot fuse with spiritual energy. If we don't find the Tai Sui, I will die. Lu Yan held me closer. His face lowered, lips brushing against my eyelashes in a feather-like kiss. His next words felt like a death sentence. Fear not. His hand traced my spine, the light touch making me instinctively flinch. Lu Yan chuckled softly. No need to fear, junior sister. My mind flashed back to that night, on the road back to Zhongling Mountain. The moonlight was enchanting and I, draped in flimsy gauze, had climbed into his bed. His touch had ignited fires, yet I had trembled like a frightened rabbit. He had said the same thing then. No need to fear, junior sister. Night had fallen outside. Through the open curtain, I could see a sliver of moon. I share this life with junior sister, Lu Yan murmured, his voice resonating against my back. I will not allow one to live alone. I looked into his eyes. They glowed with an inner crimson light. If he abandoned the path to the 9th heaven, embraced the demonic path fully with me, we wouldn't need the Tai Sui. We could truly live. The further north we traveled, the colder it became. My grievous injuries made me feel closer to death with each passing day. Thankfully, Lu Yan was a walking furnace, constantly sharing his warmth, keeping me tethered to life. After more than a month, we finally reached the northern realm. Stepping out of the carriage, I was greeted by a vast expanse of white. Snow stretched to the horizon, pure and unforgiving, making me feel insignificant as dust. Surprisingly, Gu Xiao was awake and mobile, needing no support, though her face was utterly devoid of color, her gaze as cold as the surrounding snow. She walked straight towards me, her eyes flicking between me and Lu Yan. The Lu clan. 131 lives, she stated flatly. Have you forgotten them entirely? Lu Yan tilted his head, his arm tightening around my waist. He looked down, his voice soft. The Phoenix clan. Is there truly only one left? Gu Xiao's body jerked. You suspect the Lu clan? She asked, incredulous. Lu Yan's expression remained calm as he brushed a snowflake from my hood. We can discuss this later. Saving lives is the priority now. The Tai Sui was held by Jing Chu's uncle Jing Ran, the current ruler of the northern realm. Jing Ran had orchestrated the murder of Jing Chu's father, usurped the throne and relentlessly hunted Jing Chu, forcing him to flee all the way to the Central Plains. If not for the nascent soul pill, Jing Chu would never have survived. Now the rightful heir had returned. Old loyalists rallied to Jing Chu's banner, and aided by Lu Yan's overwhelming power, reclaiming the throne should have been straightforward. Yet something felt off. For a prince reclaiming his birthright, Jing Chu was unnervingly calm. Too calm. He remained secluded in his tent during battles, never showing his face. Forcing my weakened body upright, I pushed open his tent flap. Jing Chu sat slumped, looking frail, a trickle of blood at the corner of his mouth. Gu Xiao gently wiped it away, then leaned down, pressing her lips to his, transferring medicinal liquid mouth to mouth. Then I heard her speak, her voice cold and clear. I've walked this script for lifetimes, Luo Luo. Only now do I feel like the real Gu Xiao. And you stole everything that should have been mine. A chilling smile touched her lips. 131 Lu lives died because of Lu Yan. How can he absolve himself of responsibility? Understanding dawned. The original female lead, she had awakened. She remembered past lives, previous loops of the story. As someone who'd read the original novel, I knew the truth. The Lu patriarch initiated the conflict by trying to steal the phoenix egg from Lu Yan's injured parent. The massacre was retribution, cause and effect. But Gu Xiao didn't see it that way. She had known the plot all along, lived through it multiple times, yet never deviated. Was her feeling for Lu Yan ever love? Or just possessive desire born from destiny? Why, she continued bitterly, should Lu Yan be the one to ascend and not me? Kill the phoenix, take its heart's blood. Gain 1,000 years of cultivation. I grew tired of playing the loving couple lifetimes ago. Besides, how can one keep an unfaithful man? Listening to her, I felt a grudging respect. Gu Xiao had serious potential as a ruthless protagonist. But I had to stop her. Because I was clearly the stepping stone she planned to use on her path to power. A deep sense of weariness settled over me. Jingchu weakly grasped her hand. My cultivation is gone, the pill is fully yours now, but defeating Lu Yan, I fear it's still not enough. Gu Xiao raised an eyebrow. No matter. She leaned down, pressing a soft kiss to his forehead. The suffering they inflicted upon you, I will repay it all tenfold. My weariness intensified. He pushed me off the cliff first. This was a tangled mess of blame and revenge where everyone ended up covered in mud. Dragging my heavy body back to my quarters, my limbs felt numb. The Tai Sui was my only hope. Without it, I would surely die here in the frozen north. But the Tai Sui would come through Gu Xiao's hands. How could I trust it wasn't tampered with? The Tai Sui looked like a fleshy tumor. Gross. Gu Xiao presented it to me, her beautiful brows slightly furrowed. Her gaze direct, challenging. Go on, eat it. You'll die if you don't. But maybe you'll die if you do. Lu Yan gently patted my back. Don't look. Just swallow it whole. Gu Xiao added sweetly. What are you afraid of, Luo Luo? I took mine already, didn't I? We're both ancient foxes playing games, stop pretending. I took a deep breath. With a swift motion, I sliced off a piece of the Tai Sui and presented it to Jingchu. The young man, pale and weak, blanched further. I watched Gu Xiao's smile freeze, then stretched my own lips into a wide grin. You've also suffered greatly this time, Jingchu. The Tai Sui is large enough. Let's share. Gu Xiao's voice turned to ice. Jingchu is perfectly fine. He doesn't need your concern. My grin widened, though the effort made me cough up more blood. This body was at its absolute limit. Phoenix fire, though potent, had its counters. Gu Xiao's poison-laced, elementally opposed sword strike had seeped deep into my very core. Only two paths remained. The Tai Sui, or Lu Yan embracing the demonic path. Only then could we truly be dual cultivators, sharing a demonic nature, achieving nirvana together. But Lu Yan was destined for the ninth heaven. He'd been deceived his whole life, by the Lu clan, by Gu Xiao, even by me. Everyone claimed to love him, yet everyone wanted something from him. I turned to Gu Xiao. Through all these lifetimes, did you never once think of changing things? You knew everything, yet you watched Jingchu drive me to demonic cultivation, watched countless tragedies unfold without lifting a finger. You claim Lu Yan betrayed you, but weren't you deceiving him from the start, basking in his devotion? The only difference this time is that I got there first. This betrayal you feel is just bitterness because the fool didn't fall for you this time. You want his phoenix heart's blood, don't you? Well, I won't let you have it. As a villainess, a black lotus one at that, what is our ultimate purpose? To make the protagonists suffer, to ensure they never get what they truly desire, to live rent-free in their heads as the one they curse but can never forget. That is the highest achievement of a supporting character. Our actions dictate the plot. We may be side characters, but we are the protagonists of our own drama. Lu Yan entered Zhongling Mountain at 10, already mature beyond his years, quiet and reserved. It took immense effort to make him fall for me. For me, he defied his sect. For me, he braved the demon realm. I wanted him to reach the pinnacle admired by all. I moved faster than I ever thought possible, faster than Lu Yan could react. The piece of Tai Sui I held was shoved completely into Jingchu's mouth. In this game of chicken between two dying people, I still had a sliver of cultivation left. Pointing at Gu Xiao, I laughed breathlessly. Now, go save him. If Gu Xiao cared for Jing Chu, healing him from the Taisui's potentially tainted effects would consume years of her effort and cultivation. By then, Lu Yan would be strong enough to crush them both. She wanted to use me to hinder Lu Yan? Fine. I'd use Jing Chu to hinder her. Jing Chu choked violently. Luo, are you insane? I just stared at him and chuckled weakly. Then I drew a hidden dagger and slit my own throat. I would not be a pawn used against Lu Yan. My last sight was Lu Yan standing frozen, his expression unreadable. I managed one final bloody smile for him. Goodbye, husband. Did he say something? Yes. Softly, desperately. Fear not. Years later, rumor had it that two powerful cultivators emerged in the northern realm, the king and queen. Meanwhile, I lived in a small thatched hut beside the heavenly Xian Lake in the demon realm. The young demon disciples here were universally beautiful, cherubic faces hinting at sultry allure. Hearing I was supposedly close to Fengyu, they flocked around daily, hoping I'd put in a good word for them. One handsome youth fanned me, another fed me grapes. It was admittedly a divine existence. After my suicide, I hadn't truly died. I awoke back in the demon realm. Fengyu stood nearby, arms crossed. Seeing me stir, he nudged me with his foot. If you're not dead, get up. You smashed my roof. I hadn't died? Strange. Patting myself down, I found a small hard lump embedded in my chest, about the size of a coin. That, Fengyu explained, squinting at it, is a phoenix heart. He gave you his heart. That's why you couldn't die. He smirked. Impressive. Divine beasts can often survive. Without a heart, technically. But if the heart truly dies, the body fades. Even for a phoenix, losing the heart before reaching divinity transformation is dangerous. I remembered Lu Yan murmuring something repeatedly before I lost consciousness. A teleportation spell. The distance was vast. My safe arrival here was likely thanks to Fengyu sensing the spell's activation and creating a receiving point. I had lived for many years, carrying Lu Yan's heart within me. I didn't want to seek him out to entangle him again. I wanted him to reach the ninth heaven without distraction. So I deliberately severed the faint connection emanating from the heart, making him believe I was truly gone. Now I spent my days regaling the young demons with exaggerated tales of my past exploits, especially my close relationship with Fengyu, hinting I almost became their demon queen. And what happened then? A wide-eyed disciple asked eagerly. Then, a new voice interjected, smooth and familiar. A dashing young hero descended from the heavens and captured her heart. And so your Lord Demon Lord was mercilessly dumped. I looked up. A young man stood there. Hair like ink, brows like fine brushstrokes, eyes like stars. He looked exactly as he did all those years ago. Long time no see, Lu Yan smiled, his eyes holding galaxies. Wife,